Hi, everybody. I'm immigration lawyer John Khosravi. Thank you for joining us again for our live Q&A session. It's September 7th, 2022. Time flies. We're in September. I already did one live, I think maybe September 1st, so I can't remember. But here to take your questions about U.S. immigration laws. We always do general educational kind of stuff. I can't provide case-specific guidance, but we're live on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, all over the internet. Probably going to have 100 to 200 guests as we always do, and a flurry of questions. Try to avoid questions about how long something's going to take because I don't have an answer for that. But having said that, we do provide free video consultations as a raffle to live listeners and live watchers. So all you got to do is like and subscribe wherever you're watching this, and in the comment section, write consultation. My wonderful assistant Katrina will name off a person every 10 minutes in this 30-minute show. And so we have 3 free consultations we give. They're 15-minute live consultation we have in private. And hopefully get a chance to talk and get to know about your case and help you that way. So just do it. And for those who are just tuning in, I might not know about this, I have this guide called the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. For those interested in starting a fiance visa case, a marriage visa case, that's the first place you should go to get to know the process before you talk with a lawyer, before you do anything else. Go do your research to the right place, get an idea what's going on, and know the system, and then go and ask, get legal help, all that kind of stuff. Go in there knowing stuff so you don't waste time asking about the basics. You go next level kind of questions, and you can do that by reviewing this in-depth guide, 40 plus pages, nice charts and video add-alongs, not even word, add-ins, whatever they could click on that breaks stuff down in more detail. That really, a lot of people tell me they just use the guide to do the case themselves. I can't tell you to do that because that's giving this general guidance, but a lot of people have used that who couldn't hire attorneys. So, glad I got help. We have a lot of people tuning in now. Samir says, hi to you too. But I guess let's get the show started with that. So let's just jump into Instagram really quick. We got a flurry of questions over there. First question is coming from Naj. Naji says, hello, sir. Thank you for all your efforts. We really admire you. I want to know, please, what happens if I stay outside the USA for more than 6 months as a green card holder? So that's an important question that I get all the time. If you have a green card, you're a lawful permanent resident of the United States, but you're outside for more than 6 months, what happens? The key word here is resident in a green card holder's full title. You're supposed to be residing in the United States. And if you're not doing that, the U.S. government reserves the authority to take away your green card. So it's very scary. In practice, it rarely happens. If you're outside for more than 6 months, the Immigration Nationality Act gives the officers at the airport permission to question you as if it's your first time coming in. They're trying to second guess certain things and push you on stuff. They won't normally do that. If you're more than a year, technically they say you're abandoned and you should take away your green card. In practice, I don't see that happening. The problem that happens if you have a green card and you're outside the United States for more than 6 months is that it creates, it disrupts your continuous presence in the United States for naturalization, citizenship purposes. So if you have plans to file for U.S. citizenship, you've been a green card holder for so many years, you want to do that, having a 6 month plus gap, frankly, having a even less than 6 month gap can cause the officer to deny the case based on the fact that you broke your continuous residence. And then you have to restart the clock, wait another 3 or 5 years after that long entry, that long exit from the United States to be able to come back in. So it's a big headache. But in practice, if it's just for regular stuff, you have one-off kind of thing, you've been outside for more than 6 months, it's not a big deal for keeping your green card. You don't want to do that. They can hassle you and try to take your green card away. Not worth their resources. Now, there's some people that are outside for 6, 7 months. They come to the United States for a week, stay here, and then leave again for 6, 7 months and come for a week. And they do that 2 or 3 years. Eventually, they're going to be like, what are you doing? Get a reentry permit or just give away your green card and they hassle you. You can have bad luck. An officer just wants to be annoying, and that one time would be hassle. There's no guarantees because it's discretion. But in practice, it's not worth the resources to hassle you about this. So, try not to be outside more than 6 months. I can't recommend it, but it becomes a real big problem if you want to file for U.S. citizenship. I see a lot of denials happening easily because of absences that long. It's very easy for them to deny it unless you have really good proof that you have a life in the United States and that this is a mistake or something that happened that lasted more than 6 months. But it's a very important question to get all the time. Hopefully that was a thorough answer. Thank you for your question, Najee. Renata asks, what do I have to do after I marry? I want 30 days approved for my husband. Well, Renata, that's a whole thing. It depends on where you are, what your husband's a green card holder, a citizen, if you're in the United States or outside, if you have inadmissibility issues, if there's applicant support issues, if you have background issues. the thing to do for this is download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide. I might have sent it to you already. Go to marriageimmigrationlaw.com. There's a 40-page guide that goes through this, or you could have a private consultation and talk about like what's going on and all that kind of stuff. But it's just too broad a thing to ask you over here. That's why I made a free guide about it. But thanks for your question, Rana. Thanks for following. Nadi says, thank you. Faye says, for my parents' case, I got an RFE letter. What evidence I should submit? Is the birth certificate of mine enough, or should I provide their birth certificate and marriage certificate too? Well, an RFE, a request for evidence, is when you submit something to the government for immigration, USCIS in particular, and there's deficiencies. When you get that, they send you a letter that says exactly what they're missing, what they want. So when you just say, I got an RFE, what should I do? Well, I don't know. I haven't read that document. It's all written, should be written out there. Sometimes the government messes up and doesn't tell you, but they should be written out there. So you should listen to what they want. Now, a deeper problem becomes this. There's a lot of people whose birth certificates have issues with them. Marriage certificates have issues. So even if USCIS says you forgot your birth certificate and you ask, should I send it? Like, yeah, you should send it, but I haven't reviewed your birth certificate. Your birth certificate have errors on it. I have people whose names are wrong, the birth certificate, the date of birth is wrong. They registered on their birth like 10 years after birth, so that's too late. The USCIS won't accept it. They have, I see issues with birth certificates all the time. It's like a regular thing I see nowadays. So that's why you need to talk with a lawyer in private. This is not a forum for that. You need to talk with a lawyer, see what's going on. And, we got a lot of people who contact us and say, I'm, applying for my parents is an easy case. Well, here you go. You file this, you get an RFE, you know how to deal with it. This happens all the time, and it resets everything. If it's denied, then you got to start over and try to fix it. So that's the best advice I have, is talk with some attorney in private to see what's going on, because it's too case specific here, and you just got to read the RFE. And last question we'll take from Instagram for a while is Veer says, when I expect a notice of action 2 for K1? It's up to USCIS. I don't have any timelines that I can pull out of my pocket. But thank you for your question. So let's jump to other places right now. Felicia asks, hello, watching from North Carolina. Well, thank you. Good to have East Coast people watching. Samira from Tennessee. Wow, we're going way East Coast. So it's good to thank you for coming on and watching. Faith asks, my filing for adjustment of status, I signed the forms 2 months ago, left for military. Is it still okay to submit such forms? That's 2 case specific. I mean, I don't know, Faith. Probably it's okay, but that's just 2 case specific. I can't advise on that. I need to know exactly what's going on before I can give that kind of advice. But thanks for coming on the show and asking. If you're active duty military, please email my office, have some sort of proof that you're active duty. I do give free consultations to active duty military people, so we can talk about that then. My email is info@jqklaw.com. Faith, just contact and we'll talk about that in private. Now I've asked, when can I apply for my I-751? It's pending. When is I-751 pending? The questions make sense, but for I-751 removal of conditions, that's when you have a 2-year green card based on a new marriage. And, after 2 years, you have to file removal of conditions to show your relationship is real, it wasn't fake. When you file that, if you're still with your spouse, you're not divorced, there's a 90-day window that opens up before the expiration of the green card. You're supposed to file the I-751 form within that 90-day window. Amar asks, Mr. John, could you please, when and when not, in your recommendation for applying for N400 with I-751 pending, have to be I-751? Okay, so essentially the I-751, which I just talked about, removal of conditions to prove your marriage is real, takes like 6 months to 2 years on average to get these approved. While it's pending, if you have been married and living with a U.S. citizen, you get the opportunity to file for citizenship as well. And so what do? My policy is 9 out of 10 times to file for citizenship, even if the I-751 is pending. Eventually, you order citizenship interview. If the I-751 is not approved yet, then they just take care of it normally at the same time. Now, there's 1,000,001 variations of this that can happen. It could be that the officer for citizenship doesn't know how to do I-751 interviews. They can't do it, this and that. And I don't know the details of your case. I don't know if it's appropriate even to file for N400. So, Mark, this is not case-specific advice. I don't know you, but 9 out of 10 times, I do advise people to file for it. Now, I was talking with somebody who came who's a viewer, actually, a regular viewer of the show, who's also a viewer of another very popular, more popular mine even, show. And he talked with both of us, and that lawyer said, I never file for N400 citizenship while an I-751 is pending because it will cause delays in the case. Now, my experience for the last 10 years doing this, the exact opposite of that attorney, and that attorney is well known and very established. He does not file N400s while an I-751 is pending. I have the exact opposite opinion on that. So, take it as you will. But Amar, you know what? My wonderful assistant, Katrina, named you as our first raffle winner for a free video consultation. Just send me take a screenshot of where you're watching this and email it to me so I can see your username. That's you. And email me at info@jqklaw.com. That's info jqklaw.com. And we'll talk privately about it to see what the best thing to do is about that. But thank you for your question. I appreciate it. For those just tuning in, we do give away free video consultations. We have 2 more left in 10 minutes and 20 minutes. We'll name some winners. All you got to do is like, subscribe, and press likes and write consultation in the comment section. And my assistant, Katrina, will name randomly 2 more people in the next 20 minutes. We'll do it from there. And if you're interested in learning about marriage, green cards, fiance visas, download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com. That's marriageimmigrationlaw.com. We got a quick question on Instagram. Nav asked, when can I apply for citizenship? We answered that one. Shiva asked, my husband and I filed the I-824 in July 2022. When can we expect our case to be sent to the NBC? We're getting mixed replies. There's no expectation. It's like all over the place. The I-824 form is very consistently adjudicated. Even when it's approved, it's not clear what happens when it's going to be sent. So a lot of times I just have my clients not only file an I-824, but file a new I-130 to see which one gets done first. It's that bad. The timelines are very inconsistent. D Black asks, once you get a green card, do you need a passport? Do you need a passport renewal to travel outside the United States, or could you? Are you good? You have to wait to become a citizen again. Okay, question's kind of like off, but hard to read. But essentially, when you get a green card, you have a green card. You still have your home country's passport. Now, if you're an asylee, you're not supposed to use your home country passport. You need to get a refugee travel document. But let's say you're not an asylee. If you want a U.S. passport, you have to have your green card for a certain period of time. Then you file for U.S. citizenship. Once that's approved, then you file and apply for a U.S. passport. I have a detailed video on YouTube that breaks down how long it takes in the timeline process for typical 5-year based citizenship, not the 3-year based on marriage. Just go to YouTube, type in JQK Law and timeline citizenship, and the video should pop up. It's a popular video. I sense myself talking really fast because we got so many questions. I'm going to slow it down because I've been told in the comments, people say you talk too fast, can't understand what you're saying. So the problem is when I talk slow, I can't get to all your questions. And I'm so excited about answering everybody's questions. So, it's pros and cons. I'd rather you guys understand me and not be like, this guy's talking too fast. So I'm going to slow it down and we'll have to take a few questions. Sorry, everybody. But okay, what's the next one? Felice asks, my daughter's case is documentarily qualified at the National Visa Center. I filed for her in 2018 and I'm a citizen. Is there a way I can call NBC or the Kenyan consulate to expedite? Well, the National Visa Center is the final stage before getting a green card when you're abroad. Here it's based on a family case. Documentary qualified means the National Visa Center, you send them documents for them to review first. And once they qualify it, then you wait for the embassy to schedule a date. Most embassies are super backed up because of COVID and they're understaffed. And so it's caused long delays, people waiting 1 to 2 or 3 years to actually get an interview after everything's ready. So these delays are frustrating. I understand. Can you call the embassy? No, the embassy stopped taking phone calls. You could make an expedite request to them or to the embassy directly to say, I have a reason why I need this faster. They probably won't care and they'll probably deny it. But if you really want to do it, give it a shot. You got nothing to lose, essentially. So why not give it a shot? Samir asks, I don't see any update in my account, but USCIS said my interview for a family-based green card has been waived 2 months ago, but I didn't receive any notice or update or a fee for medical. Why? If I knew why USCIS does what it does, I would be a millionaire. But it is what it is. That's what. Amar, we already answered that question. Can you ask, hi, can you please talk about PIP? I did my initial biometric last month and I haven't heard back. I'll talk very briefly about it, but PIP is short for Parole In Place. These are people who may be in the U.S. without permission even, but they're an immediate relative, their spouse or a child of or parent of a military person, active duty military, and they get to do a thing called Parole In Place, which makes it look like they're allowed in even though they're already here. And based on that, they can apply for work permit valid for 1 year. Usually this is done for people who are going to get a green card. For example, you marry a U.S. citizen, you enter the U.S. without permission. You marry a U.S. citizen that's in the military, you do Parole In Place. That creates this fiction that says you entered lawfully. And based on that, then you file for adjustment status. How long does it take? What's going on? It's slowed down significantly. I've been hearing about this in different field offices across the country. So it just takes a while sometimes. And I've been hearing back from various people that their cases for Parole In Place are taking longer in different USCIS field offices. But it's just about that. You got to wait. And, maybe in the meantime, if you do have a marriage green card case or a green card case, something like that, You start prepping it, because as soon as the parole in place is ready, it's approved, then you can do that. Be mindful that you don't have other issues, other inadmissibility issues. I have one person that could have done parole in place and applied for a green card, but they had a thing called the permanent bar that they weren't aware of. They didn't understand the legalese of it. So got to be careful for that. US user 94 says, I need to do an I-864, but IRS did not process my paper returns. I mailed in April because of delays. If you submitted the tax return and you have proof of submission, to me, that's enough to give it to the government, because you're signing off that you're being truthful, and that's it. With that, you're going to have W-2s and income stuff. They can back up the income's there, plus current pay stuff. Now, I don't know your individual situation. I don't know how you're making money, how much you're making. But when you have this full set of evidence, then that's that. What are you going to do? IRS has a process, not up to you. But if you submitted it and you have proof of submission and stuff, that's what I would go by. Kimmy asks, can you travel if your name is incorrectly spelled in your permanent resident card? Probably yes. It'll cause headache when you're trying to come back in. When you buy your ticket, because they're going to base it, your ticket should be based on your passport. And if it doesn't match, it'll be hassle. I would try to fix it. Do it at your own risk. It's probably okay. They're going to take you second room and you have to explain to them what happened, and it'll probably be okay, but it's not guaranteed. You could get stuck. So it's not something I can say, yeah, you're good 100%. This is life. Problems could happen. Classic DD asks, which is faster process, fiance visa or marriage visa? This is a question I get a lot. There's a lot of bad information on the internet about this. It depends on who you are, where you're at, which country you're dealing with, and a lot of luck. The timelines are all over the place. This requires too big a discussion. It's too individualized, and I talk here, but I can tell you, any discussion you see about this on the internet is wrong. I typically have this question every fiance visa or marriage case people come ask me, and they say, I read online this. Everywhere is wrong about this. It really depends on your goals, your background, which country, embassy you're going to be dealing with, and all that kind of stuff. So you really should have an in-depth consultation with a concierge attorney, immigration attorney that cares enough to get into your life. Doesn't just give you a 10-minute time. Wants to spend an hour talking with your fiance to see which is best, and looking more at this point in what's going on. I wouldn't worry about speed. I would look about other factors of how in-depth is your relationship, like what embassy you're dealing with, and a lot of other stuff. So I don't really want to answer that question, because to me, it really depends on a lot of other factors, and just not enough time really to break it down here. So sorry about that. But don't go by anything you see on the internet, because I found all of them to be wrong. Ali Reza asks, hi, did N400 citizenship processing time reduce recently? There's no reduce. It's not everything reduces. Each N400 citizenship case is adjudicated by the local office, field office that's close to where you live. And that office, some of them, like LA, they're doing it in 3 months at the beginning of the year. And some other offices, San Francisco, might take a year. Now, San Francisco might hire 10 new people, and all of a sudden they speed up. So there's not something to calculate. And on that, a lot of people, when they file for citizenship, frankly, all of immigration, particular citizenship, they log into their online account if they submit themselves. Usually most immigration attorneys don't use the online system, but most of the time when people do on their own, they use the online system. And it gives you estimates of how long it's going to take. That's completely unreliable. Do not even look at that timeline or have expectations based on that. It's a garbage nonsense number. Just wait for things to process themselves out. Next question, Ian asks, my mom's I-485 adjustment of status is denied. Can I still refile after 30 days when I was denied because I didn't provide birth certificate? I don't know. I don't know enough details of the case, why I was denied, even if it's birth certificate. I'm not sure what kind of, is it a immediate relative case or what's going on? So that's too case specific, Melissa. I'm not able to answer that here. Parador Andrew asks, if a faulty green card was issued years ago, what is the best way to cure the situation? Notify USCIS after departing the U.S., cancel it, and apply from abroad and start the process over again, 01 to EB1. It depends on why it was faulty. It might be something that's fixable. I don't know, Parent. I know you're regular, but I just have to analyze that. Why is it faulty? Why you want to leave? Or if it could be fixed without giving up the green card. There's just too much stuff going on there. It's not something I can answer without knowing a ton of facts. Shafiq asks, I submitted the I-485. How long does it take green card? I don't know. No one knows. No one can even answer that. Aisha says, hi to you. Eki asks, can I transfer my F1 petition from the U.S. Embassy to U.S. in MNIA in Manila, probably, to U.S. Embassy Sydney? My case got documented to qualify last January. Is it possible? you can only do an embassy interview for a green card based on where you're residing. So if you're legally residing in a place, then you could ask the new embassy to switch it. So if you move from Manila to Australia and you lawfully live in Australia, you can request it. Having said that, you may not want to request it because you might go to the back of the line in Australia. And Australia is kind of slow in processing right now too, although Manila is awful. They're super backed up. But that's that. The new embassy has to accept it, and they basic acceptance that you lawfully live in that country. You can't just willy-nilly change immigrant visa interview location. Azim asks, why is citizenship process fast? Took about 6 weeks out of fingerprints and he's a citizen. That's just, it's all over the place. That's why you can't rely on any of these timelines, what people say. Every case is going to be different. And then Aisha asks, how much time for K3 visa? K3 visas aren't issued. Maybe there's 10 of them a year, so there's no real timeline for that. Alina asks, thank you for answering my question last week. It turns out USCIS never sent my receipt, and I missed my biometrics appointment in January because I had no idea. It seems like they will reschedule. I'm glad that got fixed up, Aileen. Hopefully, they'll accept their error and stuff like that, and hopefully it's fixed. It's what a mess, but thanks for following up. Aileen asked, if it wasn't for you, I'll still be waiting to hear from them since I thought that was normal. Wow, I mean, I'm glad you tuned in and we could help with that. I really appreciate it. If you have the chance, type in JQK Law on Google and leave a review on Google, 5-star. It'd be really good for me, but God bless. I'm glad you got on top of that. That's the thing about immigration. You got to advocate, even if you don't have a lawyer. You got to kind of be on top of them. It's just the way it is. You know, people, when they're dealing with a million stuff, things get forgotten. It's government employees, human, law firms, whoever it is. If your family, friends, brothers, sisters, people get caught up. So you got to stay on top of it, jump on it, because you know, you're the only person that can save you at the end of the day. You got to watch out for yourself, and I'm glad you did, Aileen, and took charge of it. Devil asks, what would happen if a U.S. citizen doesn't bring her spouse U.S. citizen? And they don't bring it. That doesn't matter. I mean, there's probably more to what you mean here, but if you're a U.S. citizen, you don't bring your spouse, then it is what it is. Many times spouses don't want to come to the United States. Lemon Sauce, hello, sir. We appreciate your consultation on August 30th. Thank you so much. Question, you're welcome. We received our receipt for notification from the Missouri field office for I-751. However, they don't cover the state of Florida. Should you be worried as the Texas office usually has jurisdiction over Florida? Don't go into like which jurisdiction. Don't worry about it. Let them do it. There's no fixed jurisdictions in this kind of stuff. Pure asks, any updates on the only jurisdiction is if there's an interview or local office does it, but other than that, for I-751s, it could be anywhere. So don't worry about that part. Pure also asks, any updates on asylum pending cases way more than 6 years now? You got to sue them if you want to get it done, but that's about it. Things are taking a while. Actually, you know what? Did we announce the second winner of the raffle lottery? I'm going to read some questions from Instagram, but did we announce our second winner? I can't remember. But my sister's going to answer me in a second. I'll take some Instagram question. My Nelson says, I applied for the first U.S. passport for derivative citizenship. My mother's documents have original. Yeah, when you go the first time around, they have to bring original documents. Okay. Imran asks, my wife is 28 years older than me. My marriage took place in 2020. I'm with her since my marriage. Is there further scrutiny by immigration? Yeah, there could be because of the age difference, but I've had cases that prove. I never had a denial. But, you know, you just got to be strong, create a strong case. Shekar asks, how long does it take for Potomac Service Center? I don't have answers to that. I don't know. D Black said, double checking if this information is correct. If you have been with your spouse for more than 2 years upon receiving your green card, you still need to file for removal conditions? No. Sometimes USCIS accidentally tells you have to do, but it's not true. Or they issue a 2-year green card when they should issue a 10. I don't have timeline answers. Hello, how long does this take? I don't have an answer to that. Muhammad asked, my congressman sent expedite request for I-24. How long does it take to get a decision? No answer there. The best thing to do is pray or file at I-130 or something like that. Yeah, we file I-130s with I-24s in most cases because I-24s are unreliable process. Okay, so raffle winner D Black, you're a winner. Take a screenshot of where you're watching this, D Black Marcella, and email it to me, and we schedule a private session, 15-minute video session to go over your case and ask your questions in private. For those just tuning in, we'll give away free video consultations. We got one more left, probably in 5 minutes. All you got to do is like and subscribe and write consultation, and we could set up a time. My assistant will choose somebody. I'll name off 5 minutes, and you'll have a free video consultation on that. So let's get back into the questions. Angola says, how long is I-130 picks? I don't know. Any questions with our timeline? I don't know, unfortunately. 29 Super C asks, hi, Terry, just saying hi. Hope your family doing well. Doing very well. It's just super hot in California, Los Angeles. Non-stop 100-degree weather. I'm not sure what it is in Celsius, like 40 degrees every day. Is out of control. Electricity bills may be pretty high this year or this month, but hopefully it gets better. And and then that's about it. Other than that, loving the family and everything. Thank you for joining us. It's good to hear from you. Faith asks, I'm fine for adjustment of status for my wife and stepkids in another country. Shall their form go same lockbox? So let's stop it right there. You really should download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide at marriageimmigrationlaw.com to talk with a lawyer in private. You don't file for adjustment of status if your kids and stepkids are overseas. Adjustment of status is if they're in the United States. What's going to happen is you're going to pay thousands of dollars for one spouse, and that's you're going to pay at least $2,500 or more. And the government's going to take it and then deny your case, saying you can't do adjustment of status. You're living overseas. So really download the Ultimate Marriage Green Card Guide and talk with a lawyer before moving forward with your case. And my assistant just named you as the winner of the lottery too. So Faith Moya 321, take a screenshot where you're watching this and where it's your username. Email it to me at info@jqqlaw.com. And we can talk privately a little about this because you definitely need to talk to somebody. I don't want you wasting money on that kind of thing. I'll take 2 or 3 more questions. We'll call it a day. Amir says, my mom lost her PR card and reapplied but haven't received it yet. Can she travel? If you lost the card, you have to get a green card stamp in your passport and then travel. So you have to request an info pass appointment from USCIS to get a green card stamp, and that's that. Lemmisker says, thank you, sir. You are the best and appreciate 5-star A+ service. Thank you, Lemmisker. I don't know if I already asked you, but if you could, please leave a review on Google. Type in JQK Law Firm. I might have done already, and just put 5 stars on the JQK Law Firm page on Google. It'd be much appreciated. Thank you so much. Alison, one of our regulars. Hi, John. How are you doing? Thank you for everything. God bless you. God bless you as well. Thank you for everything. Well, it's just wonderful having this community here. I mean, just in these, we've saved a guy $2,000-3,000 worth of stuff. Another person's case would have been denied because USCIS messed things up. Another woman. So it's amazing. This like half hours coming here, and I get emails afterwards saying people who heard other people's questions answered and they realize there's a problem with their case and they learn how to fix it and all this kind of stuff. So really, this process is just a blessing to help so many people. So thank you for tuning in. Please tell your friends and family to tune in and stuff. More people, the funner it is when there's always questions. I just hope I could speak slower so everyone could hear and understand me. But I get excited. I just want to talk about this stuff. And if you want to hear more about immigration, I have a whole other podcast that's for immigration lawyers. But if you're that interested, go check out the Immigration Lawyers Toolbox podcast, where podcasts are. There's a popular podcast, probably like number 1 or 2 immigration podcasts out there. But it's more technical as for lawyers. But if you're really into it, you can hear it there. Okay, let's take 2 more questions. I'll take 2 more on Instagram and 2 more from other places. Shekar asks, can we expedite I-751 process? You can always request an expedite, but probably nothing's going to happen. And then 2 more on the other one. Etiquette asks, how long does it take USCIS? There's no answer how long USCIS takes. Simran asks, sure, I passed my N400 test. I didn't get my oath ceremony. It's been 2 months. Yeah, it's up to USCIS whenever they get around to it. And I think that's about it for questions, right on time. So thank you for tuning in. We're here almost every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Pacific time, live, and here to take your questions and try our best to answer them. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Hopefully the heat wave, wherever you are, isn't hitting that hard. I want to send our prayers out to people in Pakistan who are underwater right now. Very, very horrible situation going through. We have a lot of listeners who have families there. The embassy processing in Pakistan is terrible. Couples waiting for over a year, 2 years just for an interview, and then something like this happens where the house goes underwater. It's just a disaster. So my heart goes out to them. But everybody, thank you so much. God bless, and see you all next week. Bye-bye.